And while his older sister isn't a part of the Zerdinger clan, Leo is inevitably her son. Then there's the fact that the elders of the clan are highly impressed by the boy's clearance of the Western exam, notorious for being extremely difficult. Leo is handed a special subspace key, which he decides to use at once by chanting a command. It unlocks access to a special book. His uncle then instructs him to stain the pages of the book with his blood. Leo follows his instructions, biting his thumb and releasing the splattering drops on the page. Now that he's shared his blood, he has access to the information inside the book. No one else will be able to know. And while it isn't easy to master the techniques of the Zerdingers, his uncle is confident in the boy's talent and believes he will get used to it in no time. With this, he officially welcomes him to the House of Zerdinger. After their meeting, Celia requests to meet Leo in an unknown location. Suddenly, a girl randomly bumps into him, causing the both of them to crash. Glasses girl over here quickly gathers her books, apologizing for her careless rushing. She goes away when Leo notices her card. He picks it up and learns about Chloe Muller, who is a freshman at the academy. Leo opens the door to find an annoyed Celia, who reminds him that they've got a lot of things to shop for and he's already late. He apologizes, as he unexpectedly ran into his uncle before coming here. Beaming with joy, Celia curiously asks what happened. To answer her burning question, the boy commands the flames of the Zerdinger family, questioning if he's doing things the right way. Seeing this, she's in utter disbelief. The confident Leo managed to master the secret technique in less than a month. His incredible achievement causes her to fall in shock and leaves her wondering if he's even human. Later that day, the Sword Princess and the Forgotten Hero are spotting a ship docking nearby. Professor Aine Elandieu introduces himself as the instructor of the night class. He wants the students to board the ship immediately, as they will be leaving for Lumen soon. The journey begins with the students leisurely enjoying their time. Leo and Celia look like a couple, which causes a confident young fellow to release a comment that gets on Celia's nerves. This an alchemist from the kingdom of Moira, and he's a merchant with everything to sell. He attempts to do business with the couple in case they need supplies at the school. Leo introduces himself by his student identity and explains that he belongs to the kingdom of Delad. Thomas is noticeably surprised to hear this, because that kingdom took the difficult Western exam. Leo wants to address the elephant in the room, as he's finding the whole setting a little too strange. It seems too peaceful, even though Celia thinks that this is the standard treatment the freshmen should receive after clearing the exam. The boy turns his attention to their instructor, while Thomas agrees with Celia's understanding of the situation. All of a sudden, the ship shakes as a gigantic tentacle rises from the ocean. It nearly crushes Thomas, while the rest of the students are begging for their instructor to intervene. Casually sipping his wine, their teacher mocks them for ever even asking for help. He reminds them that the students of the Lumen Academy are expected to perform their best in the time of danger, so this is a challenge for them to overcome on their own. They're up against the ugliest of the uglies. A giant kraken stares down at the students. Even in this tense situation, the Forgotten Hero maintains his composure and slices the creature's tentacle with his blade. Celia's also doing fine on her own. Experiencing the fiery attack of the Sword Princess, the kraken reacts with a water spray, causing Celia to get drenched. The monster grabs Thomas, who's shouting his mouth off. Seeing this, both Celia and Leo come rushing full speed to slice the creature down. With the alchemist's greed, he offers his shock. He was expecting the Sword Princess to do well on her own because of her reputation, but he wasn't expecting another student to be just as fierce. Poor Thomas nearly gets crushed by a frozen tentacle and shouts at the person who could have killed him just now. Chloe, the glasses girl that bumped into our boy, is commanding ice magic and holding the monster off on her own. She talks down on the alchemist, who is needlessly becoming a burden in the fight instead of staying behind. Thomas confesses that people like her don't give a damn about those weaker than them trying to help. With another piece of tentacle crushed, we get to see the dynamic duo of Abad and Chelsea rising to the scene. They're still not done with their rivalry between the two clans. Still, the battle mage has her eyes set on our boy despite being enemies. With numerous monsters in the lake teeming on their way to the academy, the instructor thinks this is the perfect welcoming party for the freshmen. Enjoying his wine, he comments on the top performers: Chen, Celia, Abad, Chloe, Walden, and finally Duran, Moira. The captains of each region are performing excellently against the threat. However, beyond them is a student that has overshadowed their performance. An unknown freshman with no commanding dominance in any region. His swordsmanship is the definition of perfection, and he's reacting as if he's predicting every attack. The instructor is glad that he's going to see the boy unleash his full potential in his classes. Anyway, the useless alchemist is quick to run out of his potions as they finally arrive at their destination. Hopping off from the ship, the instructor expects the students to get used to the monster treatment, since they're going to deal with it a lot. It's time to explore the glorious entrance hall. The Lumini Academy's training grounds are extraordinary. Many spectators are hoping for the freshmen to put on a good show. The entrance ceremony is soon to begin. The night division is grouped by their instructor, who wants the captains to come to the front of the lines. The headmaster of the academy oversees the announcement, expecting great things from the hero candidates of this year. Kalian emphasizes to the students that if they ever want to become strong heroes, they'll have to risk their lives and always be expected to surpass their limits. Slamming his fist to the ground, the headmaster believes that if they can't do the bare minimum of what he just mentioned, then they don't belong to the prestigious institution. And then a second later he melts into a grandpa, acting like he didn't just intimidate the crap out of them. Kalian points out and asks why they've all gone quiet all of a sudden. His radiant reputation and image as the brilliant swordmaster slowly gets tainted by the day. Next up is a speech from the freshman representative, a name that the first years are looking forward to. It's not Celia, Abad, Chloe, or anyone else. Only Leo Plav's name is chanted, coming as a shock to even him. He quickly turns to the professor and realizes that he must have recommended him. Leo approaches the podium and addresses the professors and seniors with his speech. While this is going on, many students are bickering about the talks of this unknown student. They don't know what happened or who even is. The speech comes to an exhausting end, as Leo Plav is inquired about his goals as the representative of the year. He realizes that their goal is to intentionally provoke the finishers behind him. Leo offers his words in a very polite and professional manner, drawing attention from the other instructors. They think it's going to be a very reserved ceremony, until our boy goes crazy and openly declares that he's ready to accept any of them challenging him for the position. This hostile and bold announcement provokes the top rankers, but Leo doesn't really care about who it is he has to go up against. With the announcement settled, the students go to their dormitories. From tomorrow, exploratory classes will elapse for 1 week. This is a special grace period for the students to take any class which will later help them decide 3 subjects to major in. The students are promptly advised to rest up so they don't face a first-day late class. Leo's room is designated right next to Thomas, who is excited for his first class tomorrow. They exchange a goodnight greeting and Leo collapses on his bed. His mind is busy wondering what he's supposed to accomplish in the academy. Seizing his place in the best institution, he desperately hopes to find his long-lost hero record. The next day at the cafeteria, Thomas wants to share a seat with our boy who doesn't really care and approves the request. Leo receives an annoyed visitor, someone he isn't familiar with. This guy is Duran from the Central Region, and he's here to confirm if the challenge he stated in the announcement carries any weight. Leo understands that his speech was provocative in its fullest. After all, it invited a stranger to take him on in an aggressive manner. Duran thinks he's some hotshot of the Central Region, but Leo simply doesn't give a flying fuck and continues drinking his fruit juice. Pissed for being taken lightly, Duran lashes out by releasing a thunderous kick, sending the table flying. However, Leo's inhuman speed helps him rearrange the ingredients and reform his perfect cheeseburger. This man is the definition of class as he made a meal out of the occasion. Leo provokes him, stating that he just couldn't ignore free food to waste away like that. Duran, on the other hand, is in the mood to kill this guy with his every word. He thinks the freshman representative is much weaker than he is, which his ego can't stand. Intervening the fight, their instructor casually rests both his arms around the 2 students. He politely mentions their ranks as the representative as well as the captain of the region. The instructor is hoping they're prepared to receive due punishment for engaging in a fight on the first day. You can just see both their faces crying for help. Let's jump ahead and visit the first exploratory class of the night department. For some reason, Celia is concerned why Leo isn't around. He emerges at last, completely exhausted for breath. His condition invites Celia's attention, because she thinks he fought with someone. Leo decides not to say anything for the time being. Class is about to start. Ain introduces himself as the instructor of the first-year night classes. Thomas notices that Duran is on bad terms with Leo already, while their teacher Ain talks about the 3 main powers derived from mana. The first being magic energy, the second is soul energy, and finally we have aura. Of the 3, aura is deemed the most difficult to handle. Celia adds that it's because aura requires losing mana fluidity during the conversion process. Her answer is spot on, as magic and soul energy tend to use mana in its natural state. But aura, on the other hand, absorbs the mana and converts it to suit the body. He demonstrates what an aura looks like and wonders if any of them knows how to use the processed aura from their bodies. Collecting her thoughts, Celia fails to come up with a reasonable answer. The freshman representative breaks his silence and explains that utilizing an aura's power requires the burning of mana. He's reached the right conclusion as pointed out by the instructor, which then makes him ask about the most crucial aspect of the process of burning mana. Leo quickly responds, stating that it is stamina. Impressed by the boy's understanding of aura, Ain asks if he's ever studied the concept before. Turns out he hasn't, which is yet again another impressive feat. A person who hasn't even studied aura somehow extensively managed to grasp its true essence. Deciding to put an end to the theoretical explanation, Ain thinks it's about time they do a little exercise. Using his aura, he casts a wave-like platform called the aura step. This fundamentally relies on concentrating one's aura power into their legs. Ain descends to the ground and excitedly mentions that the applications of aura are practically endless. Some of the other students experiment and spar with each other, while Celia teases our boy. She's ready to teach him how aura step works, so long as he calls her sister. Leo doesn't feel the critical need for her help, as he's fine with knowing the principles of aura. Noticing Duran on the side, the instructor thinks it's a good time to address the commotion scene in the cafeteria. Some students like Chelsea don't know what happened, and Thomas strokes her curiosity even more with his commentary. Both Leo and Duran are called to the